Welcome back. So in this video, we're gonna try and fix the animations of the character. So we have certain issues here. So let's, for example, let me play the game. So if I'm looking down and if I'm sprinting and it's kind of looking weird, right? And also when I'm pressing shift, that is when I want to crouch and I'm moving, so it's crouching and moving at the same time, so that's fine. Now when I hit sprint key again, and it's sprinting at the same time while it's crouching, so this is really weird. Now these things that we have to really fix. Now I shouldn't be allowed to do that. I shouldn't be allowed to sprint when I'm I shouldn't be allowed to sprint when I'm crouching. Okay. And also this is kind of looking weird, and if I'm sprinting and if I'm crouching and if I'm looking down and if I can sprint, which is very weird. So a lot of these things that needs to be fixed. So let's go ahead and fix that first. Of course, open up your player or your third person character if you have that named as third person character, and we'll have to fix a bunch of things out here. So we'll look for your action keys, like I'm gonna scroll out a little bit if I can find that. So you have the turn rate and you have the movement input, which is fine. Yeah, out here you have the crouch and the sprint, so you'll have to make some changes out here. Okay, so the first thing is we'll have to make some changes out here for the sprint especially. So before, I'm gonna make some space out here for myself, so I think I'll scroll out. I'll increase the height here, and I'll further increase the height here and bring the height, increase the height for this like this, and then move these guys to the right a little bit. Okay, and this guy down here a little bit so that I can make room for myself. I think that should be good enough. All right, and also this guy can move all the way down here like that. Good enough. Okay, so I'll have to check something before I actually get into the sprint mode. I have to check whether whether I'm in the crouch or not. So if I'm in the crouch, then I will not. Okay, I'll make some space for myself. This guy needs to come down here. Okay, I think I'll cut the connection off here, the target and the character movement. I'll make a copy and I'll bring him down here and connect him here instead. Doesn't matter, means the same thing, like this. Okay, so first I'm gonna look for the branch. I'm gonna say branch. Okay, and move these guys a little bit to the right. And what I'm gonna check for is if I can look for that variable is crouching. Okay, if it's crouching already, okay, I'm gonna look for this particular condition. If it's crouching, and then let's you need to go ahead and make the crouching to be false. So I'll set the crouching to false first and then move on with everything else, and set the crouching to false and then set the sprinting to true, and then make all of these changes. Okay, and if it is false, then I'll just have to say just carry on as you always would. So I'll just bring this down, same, and I'll just say carry on with this, and instead ignore the setting the is crouching variable. Okay, and that should take care of that. And this guy can also come up here now, like this. Okay, maybe down a little bit. I think I'm good there. Or should I just move this a little to the right? And this guy can be here. And everything is good. Now we'll do the same thing with the crouch as well. So I'll move this to the left, around the same place, and move these guys to the right like that. And of course, disconnect the connection between these two and bring them down and bring them around here, similar to this place, similar to this thing. And I'll make a copy of the character movement variable, and move him up here and reconnect to the target for this. Okay, and that's all cool. Now I'll just make him in the same line like that. Now same thing, we'll just look for the branch. We'll create a branch here. Okay, okay, and if it is true, then we'll have to bring in, let's say, I think bring these guys down first. I have to bring these guys down so that, like this, and bring these guys down a little bit so that I can accommodate this kind of variable up there. So if it is true, let's see, and what it's true, if is printing or is printing is true. Okay, select that. If printing is true, then we just set the is printing, okay, and connect that to set. We set it to false, connect these two, else this just goes and connects this like that. Okay, and one step down like that. Okay, otherwise everything just goes on as usual. Okay, so everything is set up, and in fact I'll just move this up here so that, like that, and same here, like this. I think I'm okay with that, and compile that, save that, and this should get the job done, hopefully. So going back to the level, I'll hit play, and when I'm crouching, let's say I'm hitting shift key and I'm moving forward, and then when I hit the sprint key, and then it starts actually gets up and starts sprinting, so that it actually is not sprinting while it's in the crouch mode. So while I'm sprinting, while I'm sprinting, and if I hit the crouch key, it actually cancels out the sprint and it goes over to the crouch mode. And then again, I take off the sprint, and I take off the sprint, and if I go over here and then I hit the sprint key again, it actually cancels everything out, and it's not in the crouch mode anymore, and it's actually inside the normal sprint mode. Okay, again, I'll do that. This is not the crouch mode, and if I crouch now, okay, and if I'm moving slowly and then I hit the sprint key, you can see that it's actually gotten up and doing it. It's not around the crouch mode. So if I look down, he's actually running. Okay, so that was a very quick fix and had to be done, and we did it, and decent. And we also rearranged the code a little bit and made it look a little better. And maybe this has to be gotten back here like that. All right, great. So everything is good, and let's move on to our next video. Thank you.